Have you ever heard that being kind is really important? Well, it is. But did you know that being too kind can sometimes cause problems? That's where Stoicism comes in. It's an old philosophy that teaches us a lot about life, including how being overly kind can sometimes mess things up. In this guide, we're going to talk about 10 important lessons from Stoicism. We'll learn how being super kind all the time might not be the best idea, and how finding balance is key to staying happy and healthy. Let's dive in and explore these lessons together. Lesson 1. Managing expectations. Stoics, those wise old thinkers, believed in something pretty cool, accepting life just as it is. They said we shouldn't rely too much on things outside of ourselves to make us happy. When we're overly kind, we might start expecting too much from others, but guess what? People aren't always going to meet those high expectations, and that can leave us feeling pretty bummed out. So, what's the Stoic solution? It's all about learning to let go a little, not getting too wrapped up in what we want from others. By doing this, we become stronger on the inside and better able to handle life's ups and downs. So, let's try to be kind, but also remember to keep our expectations in check. Lesson 2. Understanding true worth. Hey there. Lesson 2. From the Stoic playbook is all about figuring out where our real value comes from. You see, those old Stoics believed that being truly awesome isn't about how many good deeds we do to get pats on the back. Nope. It's about doing the right thing because it's, well, the right thing to do. When we're always going above and beyond to be super kind, we might start seeking validation from others. But guess what? That can mess with our heads and make us feel pretty crummy if we don't get the recognition we hoped for. So, instead of trying to impress everyone with our kindness, let's focus on being good people because it's just who we are. That's what the Stoics say gives us real worth. Acting with integrity and doing what's right, even when no one's watching. So let's keep it real and stay true to ourselves. Lesson 3. Prioritizing self-care. Hey friend, Lesson 3 is a really important one, and it's all about taking care of ourselves. You know how sometimes we're so busy helping others that we forget to take care of ourselves? Well, that's not cool. The Stoics, those wise folks, knew that if we don't look after ourselves, we won't be much good to anyone else. That's why they talk a lot about self-care and setting boundaries. Self-care means doing things that make us feel good, like getting enough sleep, eating healthy food, and doing stuff we enjoy. And setting boundaries. Well, that's about knowing when to say no, and making sure we don't spread ourselves too thin. When we take care of ourselves, we have more energy and strength to help others. So, let's remember to put ourselves first sometimes. It's not selfish, it's smart. Lesson 4. Cultivating strength. Hey there, let's talk about being strong, not just in muscles, but in our hearts and minds too. The Stoics, those ancient thinkers, knew a thing or two about being tough cookies. They said it's important to be strong and have self-discipline. But what does that mean? Well, it's about knowing what we want and not letting others push us around. Sometimes, when we're too kind all the time, people might think we're pushovers. That means they might try to take advantage of us. Not cool, right? But don't worry, because the Stoics have our back. They say we can be strong by setting boundaries and sticking to them. Boundaries are like invisible lines that we draw to protect ourselves. When we have boundaries, we earn respect from others and make sure nobody messes with us. So, let's be strong, set boundaries, and stand tall like the mighty Stoics. Lesson 5. Discerning true relationships. Hey, let's chat about friendships and relationships. The real ones, you know? The Stoics, those wise folks from way back, knew that good relationships are super important. But here's the thing. Real friendships aren't just about one person doing all the giving. Nope. They're about both people respecting each other and giving and taking equally. That's called mutual respect and reciprocity. Big words, right? It just means that we both treat each other with kindness and fairness. The Stoics say we should be like detectives and figure out who our real friends are. That means spotting the energy vampires, those people who only take and never give back. Yikes! But don't worry, because the Stoics teach us to steer clear of those energy vampires and focus on building real, meaningful relationships instead. So, let's be smart about our friendships and surround ourselves with people who lift us up and make us feel awesome. Lesson 6. Guarding against dependency. Hey, let's talk about something really important. Being too nice. Yep, it might sound strange, but being super kind all the time can actually cause some problems. You see, when we're always saying yes to everything and everyone, it can make them rely on us too much. That's called dependency, and it's not a good thing. The Stoics, those wise old thinkers, knew all about this. They said we should be aware of how much we're giving and learn to say no when we need to. Saying no isn't mean. It's about looking after ourselves and keeping things balanced. When we respect our own time and set boundaries, we stop others from taking advantage of us. So, let's be kind, but also smart about it. It's all about finding that sweet spot between helping others and looking after ourselves. Lesson 7. Practicing self-discipline. Hey there. Let's chat about something super important. Self-discipline. It's all about being in control of ourselves, our actions and choices. The Stoics, those smart folks, talked a lot about this. They said that being disciplined helps us stay on track and not get carried away by things. You know how sometimes we can be too nice and give in to everything? Well, that's where self-discipline comes in. It helps us say no when we need to and not go overboard with being kind. When we're too kind all the time, it can lead to doing things too much, like eating too many cookies or playing too many video games. That's not good for us. So by being disciplined and keeping things in moderation, we stay healthy and happy. It's all about finding that balance and making sure we're in charge of our own lives. Go us. Lesson 8. Setting boundaries. Hey, let's talk about boundaries. You know, like invisible lines that we draw to keep ourselves safe and happy. The Stoics, those wise thinkers, knew all about this stuff. They said it's super important to know our limits and not let anyone cross them. When we're too kind all the time, people might start taking advantage of us. But guess what? We can stop that from happening by setting boundaries. Setting boundaries means knowing when to say no and sticking up for ourselves. It's about standing tall and saying, hey, this is where I draw the line. When we do that, we show people that we value ourselves and won't let them walk all over us. Plus, setting boundaries helps us build healthy relationships where everyone respects each other's needs. So, let's be boundary setters and keep ourselves safe and happy. Lesson 9. Recognizing manipulation. Hey there. Let's talk about something important. Manipulation. It's when someone tries to trick us into doing things we don't want to do. The Stoics, those wise thinkers, knew that being too kind all the time can sometimes make us easy targets for manipulation. But guess what? We can learn to spot it and stop it. Stoicism teaches us to trust our instincts and look out for signs that someone might be trying to manipulate us. It's like having a superpower. We can see through their tricks and protect ourselves. By staying alert and not letting anyone take advantage of our kindness, we keep ourselves safe and happy. So let's be smart and stand up to manipulation, like the brave Stoics we are. Lesson 10. Embracing balance. Alrighty, let's wrap things up with lesson number 10. Embracing balance. So, you know how too much of anything isn't always a good thing? Well, the Stoics knew that too. They said it's super important to find balance in everything we do, including being kind. That means not going overboard with kindness, but also not being too selfish either. It's like finding the perfect middle ground. Not too much, not too little, just right. By being aware of how much we're giving and taking, we avoid getting into sticky situations and stay strong on the inside. So let's remember to keep things balanced. like a tightrope walker walking across a rope. With Stoicism as our guide, we can tackle life's ups and downs with confidence and purpose. Go us! Lesson 11. Embracing Impermanence. Hey there, let's dive into lesson number 11, Embracing Impermanence. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's all about understanding that things in life don't last forever. They change and shift all the time. The Stoics, those wise old thinkers, talked a lot about this. They said we shouldn't get too attached to how things turn out because, well, life is unpredictable. Sometimes when we're overly kind, it's because we want things to go a certain way. But guess what? Life doesn't always go according to plan, and that can leave us feeling pretty bummed out. So instead of trying to control everything, the Stoics say we should learn to go with the flow. By accepting that things change and letting go of our attachments, we become stronger and happier. It's like riding a wave. We learn to ride the ups and downs with grace and ease. So, let's embrace impermanence and find peace in the ever-changing journey of life. Lesson 12. Honoring personal boundaries. All right, let's talk about lesson number 12. Honoring personal boundaries. So you know how we all have our own personal space and limits, right? Well, the Stoics, those wise thinkers, knew that it's super important to respect those boundaries. They said that when we stand up for ourselves and say no when we need to, we're showing self-respect and taking care of our own energy. It's like putting up a fence around our garden to keep out unwanted visitors. We're protecting what's important to us. By setting boundaries, we let other people know how we want to be treated, and that's pretty cool. It's all about building healthy relationships where everyone respects each other's space and feelings. So, let's honor our personal boundaries and stand tall like the mighty Stoics. Lesson 13. Practicing Gratitude. Alrighty, let's chat about lesson number 13, Practicing Gratitude. So, you know how sometimes we might feel like we don't have enough, or we wish we had more? Well, the Stoics, those wise old thinkers, knew that feeling grateful can actually make us feel better. Gratitude is like saying thank you to life for all the good stuff we have, the little things that make us smile, like a sunny day or a yummy meal. When we focus on what we're thankful for, it's like flipping a switch from feeling sad to feeling happy. The Stoics said that by practicing gratitude, we can find peace and happiness inside ourselves. It's like having a magic key that unlocks a treasure chest full of joy. So let's take a moment each day to say thank you for the good stuff in our lives. With gratitude in our hearts, we can feel content and at peace, no matter what life throws our way. Lesson 14. Embracing Adversity. All right, let's talk about lesson number 14, Embracing Adversity. So, you know how sometimes life throws us curveballs, like tough challenges or things that make us feel uncomfortable? Well, the Stoics, those wise old philosophers, knew that these tough times can actually make us stronger. Instead of running away from challenges, they said we should face them head-on. When we're too kind all the time, we might try to avoid anything that makes us feel uncomfortable. But guess what? Avoiding challenges doesn't help us grow. The Stoics said that when we see tough times as opportunities to learn and become better, we become stronger and braver. It's like turning obstacles into stepping stones on the path of life. So, let's embrace adversity with courage and conviction. By facing challenges with a brave heart, we become resilient and ready to take on anything that comes our way. Lesson 15. Cultivating Inner Peace. Hey there, let's chat about lesson number 15, Cultivating Inner Peace. So, you know how sometimes life can feel like a roller coaster ride, full of ups and downs? Well, the Stoics, those wise folks, knew that even when things get crazy, we can still find peace inside ourselves. Inner peace is like having a cozy blanket wrapped around us. It makes us feel calm and safe, no matter what's going on outside. When we're too kind all the time, we might feel overwhelmed by all the emotions swirling around us. But guess what? We can learn to calm our minds and find that inner peace. The Stoics said that by being mindful, which means paying attention to the present moment and being aware of our thoughts and feelings, we can find tranquility within ourselves. It's like finding a quiet spot in the middle of a busy city. We can always retreat to that peaceful place whenever we need to. So, let's cultivate inner peace by being mindful and aware. With a calm mind and a peaceful heart, we can navigate life's twists and turns with grace and ease. Conclusion. Alrighty, folks, it's time to wrap things up and put a bow on our Stoic journey. So, we've learned a whole bunch of cool stuff about how to live our best lives, Stoic style. These 10 lessons we've talked about, they're like our trusty guideposts for navigating the crazy adventure called life. Now here's the secret sauce: balance. Yep, you heard me right. It's all about finding that sweet spot between being super kind and taking care of ourselves. The Stoics knew that too much of anything, even kindness, isn't always a good thing. So by practicing moderation, self-discipline, and knowing when to say no, we can be our best selves. But hey, here's the kicker. Being kind is still super important. We just gotta do it in a way that doesn't leave us feeling drained or taken advantage of. It's like filling up our own cup first, so we have plenty left over to share with others. So if you found these nuggets of wisdom helpful, why not spread the love? Share them with your friends, your family, heck, even your pet hamster on their journey to self-discovery. Together, let's harness the power of Stoic wisdom to grow, thrive, and live our most authentic lives. You ready? Let's do this.